Team Hamantaschen. Speaking first, we have Dean Theodore Ruber of the Penn Law School.
I can't stand here and say we're going to make Hamantaschen great again, because they never really had their day. So this is much more about a message of hope and change. I have a few good things to say about Hamantaschen, but it's mostly tearing down latkes. They're becoming so popular and so assimilated. Martha Stewart has an article, 20 latke recipes for Hanukkah nashing. On other sites, there are recipes for cheddar bacon latkes. Let's be honest, neither one of these is a health food. One is kind of deep fried in oil, which I think right there is kind of an unfair advantage. But there is a health cost to that. 1 in every 6 U.S. healthcare dollars is spent on cardiovascular disease. Eating latkes is a profoundly selfish choice, right? You're basically asking your neighbors and people to pay for your cardiac. And clearly, Hamantaschen, it has a little fruit in it. You know, you're getting some vitamin C, maybe. Clearly much more healthy. If you want to take kind of a teleological view that things are going to get better, I don't think we've seen the best Hamantaschen ever baked yet. Think of the best latke you've ever had, and ask yourself, are you going to have a better one in 20 years? I admit it, I like latkes, but I think it's much more of a food of the past. So I urge you to vote for the clear food of the future, Hamantaschen.
Speaking second for Team Latke will be Dr. Ian Lustig.
The main ingredients of the latke, both potatoes and onions, come from within Mother Earth. They remind us of whence we came and to where we shall go. And the grease, that reminds us of the sweat and the elbow grease we as workers and peasants living on our labor, not on that of others, expend in the things that give meaning to our lives. As our sages teach us, without work, without study, life is nothing but a pool of mud. At the hands of Jews, other Jews are fed latkes. The good ones sit in your stomach and then lower down in the gastrointestinal tract like rocks. But one learns to work through the food. The struggle to digest, to turn tourists into triumph. But the dialectic of the latke, its lessons were and still are threatened by the fancies, stuffed and bloated, sticky and sweet. The Hamantaschen and the Hamantaschen pushers lurk in the shadows, exploiting their special access to the mun with which they stuff and overstuff these not really life-sustaining, artery-choking, diabetes-precipitating, food-like things called Hamantaschen. Consider just the mun that is buried in the word Hamantaschen. What is it there for? Obviously, it stands in the center of the word for that which is central to the life of the fancies. Mun is short for money. And if it is not mun with which they are stuffed, it might well be prunes, the easy way to relieve indigestion. Rather than the pain and struggle of auto-emancipation, the champions of the Hamantaschen encourage an easy way out. But the easy way out is not our way. As they say, therefore, Latke, Latke tirdof. Latke, Latke must you pursue.
You make a really good argument about white flour, sugar being the food of the elites. If we were meeting here in 1638, what is phenomenally populist and non-elite? All of those ingredients that make the supposedly elite Hamantaschen. You could live a whole year on nothing but white flour for about $200 a year. For the 21st century, this is the new populist food. It's not fancy. I think all of these arguments are kind of turned on their head in our new century.
You haven't considered the carbon footprint, which is much more significant. I can grow and have grown potatoes and onions in my backyard. But if I want to refine the sugar and get the flour and get the fruit and ship it there and ship it here and ship it there, the carbon footprint of that is enormous. What happens to the ingredients of Hamantaschen if left on their own? It will end where all that is based on the exploitation of man and his weaknesses ends in mold, rottenness, death itself. But leave potatoes and onions for a month, and what do you get? Luxuriant growth, new life, and redemption and hope for the future they represent. Hamantaschen versus latkes, rottenness versus rootedness, death versus life. Choose life.
In the preliminary vote, Hamantaschen got 40%, Latke got 60%. In our secondary vote just now, It is exactly tied 50-50, which means that Hamantaschen has been deemed the winner. Thank you.